all new. AM 1150 WTMP.com.
All right. I guess warn all the folks that the herd has arrived. And I know you've been talking all day about the same old stuff about the election. And we're going to talk about it a little bit more because you can't get the other side. You've been hearing one side, and no one, I have been listening, has presented the other side. And guess what? It has come into the room. So welcome to Porch Talk Radio on this Saturday, April 27th, 2019. Now I don't know if any of you guys were listening to the draft last night, but Jim Brown said it was the 2013 draft.
But
so.
Jim Brown had a stroke, y'all. So okay, I'm okay with that. Jim Brown had a stroke.
I'm just saying, it's the fact that it didn't happen the way, and I think most people knew, and most people was okay with it.
Well, because it's Jim Brown. Dang it! Come on now.
Yeah, it was Jim Brown, probably the most prolific running back ever to run. I mean, some people say Gary Sayers. I mean, some people say
Barry Sanders,
Emmitt Smith. I mean, again, it just on what generation you came through the process, but there has never ever been a runner like Jim Brown.
No, Jim Brown was awesome.
And he quit in his prime. He quit when he was the best that there had ever been. When he quit,
Yep.
he didn't wait till his career started declining.
Got traded a couple times.
Play for another team. All the typical excuses. He could have been broke. Matter of fact, he had all the records when he left, and again, he was still in his prime. So, but this is not what this show is going to be about.
And that's too bad because I think that could be a lot of fun.
So this show is going to be, we're going to talk about the mayoral election. We have to, and put it all in perspective, and we have to think about it as a black community, because I'm going to tell you something that's real funny. The fact that we had 7 or 8 people running for the black seat. We could have, as a community, if we ever get our act together, we can decide who's going to win that seat, have only one candidate on the ballot, and it's already been decided. I mean, no opposition. The communities got together, the leadership got together, the folks who make stuff happen in our community, and talk everybody into being on one team. So instead of 5, 10 candidates, you got one, and then the rest of them on the same team, and then you not only win the election, you run the community the way you need things to work. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing some novel ideas out there. If a community decided that they didn't want to cut everybody's throat, which is what we normally do, everybody stabs everybody in the back, Now I gotta say, for Orlando's District 5, those guys did pretty good about not stabbing each other in the back during the debates. But again, you got times when you ain't debating. So,
well, the idea is that everybody's got to be an adult. Everybody's got to respect the game.
Yeah.
And it's like two prize fighters who go in and beat the crap out of each other for 15 rounds, but it's the game that they respect. So thus they respect each other in it, and they know that it's just the game. It's the game.
Yeah.
And I think that if we can do that, we can get back to that.
Yeah. But see the problem in the black community is we never been that. We have never ever been that. We will have we won't have any blacks running for mayor, and then one guy decide he want to run, and then we'll have 2 others decide they want to run, and then one of them will drop out. And so we have, the opportunity for the community to come together and vote for one black mayor. We'll split it up and then let the one white female win. I shouldn't have said that. Only thing is that's history. That's what happened. So anyway, welcome to Porch Talk Radio this Saturday afternoon. We got some good information for you. We have good discussion for you, And again, it's about the other side. You know, we look at it a little differently. We look at it, you know, from the point of view of potential and how we make the community better. And we're going to get on with it. So, if you want to call in to the radio show today, you know, and I know all the regular callers call in and they know the number, but I'm going to give the number to the folks who don't have it. All right. For those who want to call in to the show, to be on the show while we're on the air for the next hour, 813-251-9867. 813-251-9867. For those who want to call me personally after the show,
Or anytime.
sometime during the week,
Or anytime during the show.
my cell phone number, Eddie Adams Jr. cell phone
Or
number,
on speed dial.
813-230-3312.
And go.
813-230-3312. And I did get a couple calls this week from some listeners. And one of them called about the John Ashley airline. He wanted to, you know, fly, and he forgot who the person was. So that's something that we was on. Okay, we got a caller already. Boy, we ain't even got the information out.
About what?
All right, caller. Welcome to Porch Talk Radio. You're jumping the gun. We didn't even get the credits out for our sponsors, but welcome anyway. What say you this morning, this afternoon?
Well, thank you. I guess I did jump the gun. Thank you for giving the number, those of us that call in.
Yes, go ahead.
Also, tell who you are, don't know who's hosting this show. And that's really why I called in. I guess I'm early, but I did hear you are hosting. Thank you.
Yes, I'm Eddie Adams Jr. the Great, sitting here, bringing you words that will tickle your eardrums and hopefully linger between the two and make your life better. That's what we do here. Thank you for calling, and I was expecting. I thought it would be somebody else. I thought it would be my great good friend Candy Lowe, because they're out on the Black Business Bus Tour, making some folks rich. So I was expecting her to call in. So I kind of expected to hear a bunch of cheering and stuff in the background, you know, and all that kind of stuff. But last time they had the Black Business Bus Tour happening, and Candy called. She was in Philadelphia, Detroit, or somewhere, you know, important like that. She called in. So let me finish, giving you guys our credits, and letting you know that we got somebody sitting up here in the studio. One of my good friends who I don't know if it's just a habit. I can't say no to her. I don't know why, you know. But and I was talking to her this morning. I say, hey, honey, how you doing? Or something like that. And my wife was there, so we don't want to start no vicious rumors or anything like that. So sponsors, you know, people who make this possible for us to show up and make this thing happen every week. Todd Jones, property appraiser. Todd Jones is a great guy, credentialed property appraiser, makes things happen for everybody, and been one of our loyal sponsors since we've been doing this. The Hillsborough County Republican Executive Committee. They got some things going on over there. They're the acting and getting involved with the community, because I'm going to tell you guys, you know, 2020, right around the corner. And I heard Bernie Sanders and some other folks on the TV the other night, Joe Biden, Uncle Joe, Uncle, touch me, don't touch me there, Joe Biden. It's officially in the race, you know, and his slogan will be, "Don't touch me, please." Okay, I'm having too much fun. Okay, and John Desbrow over at Print Fast. All your printing needs, got a car lot, you know, sell you some cars. We got 2 or 3 cars in the studio that been purchased from over there. John's
Good guy cars.
Yes, John's a good guy. So
He's a good guy.
So phone number 813-621-9444. Phone number again 813-621-9444. Okay, now we can get started with the show. I did say get, didn't I?
Get started.
Get
We're gonna get started
it
twice.
get it going, you know,
3 or 4
like
times.
like in the hood, like those folks from South Kakalaki. I remember, you know, when somebody from South Carolina, you're talking with them, you know, they talk geeky talk, and you can't intentionally do that. You have to do it. You can't practice talking like that. You just happen. So it has to be part of what you do every day. But sitting here in the studio with us is one of our great friends, and I had Connie Burton on last week. So between Connie and Yvette Lewis, president of the branch, Hillsborough branch NAACP, you know, we talk directly to the community, and we talk to people who talk directly to the community, not so much around. And like I said, you know, this morning, you know, everybody got a reason why their candidate did not win the last election. If you had a candidate, and I'm gonna tell you something, because I looked at these numbers, and they look kind of funny to me, and I saw that even though Walter Smith lost, he got 20,000 votes. Walter Smith got more votes in a citywide election than David Strass. He got more votes. I mean, because the same people voting for both, you know, in citywide election. He got 20,000 votes, and David Strass got 14,290. So I'm just saying, you know, when you look at stuff the way it actually is, 20,000 votes is 20,000 votes. It wasn't enough to win because he lost by 6,000, but he got 20,000 votes. That should stand for something. It should tell you guys something. So
It tells me that they worked their ass off.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
That's the thing,
yeah.
and that's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Walter worked his ass off, and I think that he did it in the right way. So just congratulations to actually everybody who participated.
Yeah.
Because you know
There-
that thing's a grind.
There was no losers. Let me
It's
say
a
it like
grind.
that. There was no loser in that race. And I got somebody call me during the week and remind me. Okay, I didn't tell you about the Super Bowl. I didn't mention it. I normally try to mention it every show, at least once. That the 2021 Super Bowl is going to be right here in Tampa, Florida. And again, I missed that opportunity, so I'm going ahead and getting it in early. And somebody say I need to remind you every week. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get somebody from the Sports Authority, somebody that may have something to actually do with it, to come talk to you about creating opportunities. Because if you don't, I'm telling you right now, ain't nothing left, and I mean ain't nothing left for the 2021 Super Bowl now but crumbs. Anything you do right now is going to be crumbs. But you're talking, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars in crumbs. So again, it's that big a deal. So if you have any kind of creative bones in your body, novel ideas, entrepreneurial spirit, you know, if you got a way to do baby bubbles or, you know, make sandcastles or make something, you know, it's gonna be some people in town with some money, and they buy everything. All they gotta do is say Tampa. Put Tampa on it somewhere. Put Super Bowl on it somewhere. People will buy it.
Oh, you can't put Super Bowl on it because that's trademark. You go to jail.
You
Put
can't-
Tampa on it.
You
No.
can't put Super Bowl 50, whatever it is. You can't do that.
You can't put Super Bowl on it. I mean, because.
I see Super Bowl every day.
But I'm telling you.
I'm just saying,
that
the
that
word
there's-
Super
that-
Bowl.
I'm telling you that, and it seems crazy, but those words they can't even say in advertising. You'll hear advertising around the game going, well, we're doing this promotion for the big game. They can't say the word Super Bowl. It's trademark. Don't do
All right.
that.
I'm tell you like this. I'm poor. I'm
You're gonna be
small.
Poorer.
Have them
And smaller.
have them
And
spend
more
some time and some money trying to get some money out of me. I want to see that one. See, that's gonna be funny. That's gonna be a joke.
Think about it. Disney rode around a few years ago suing daycares. So you know what? They're okay with it. They're okay with it.
All right.
Making
so,
people erase Mickey Mouse off the side of their building.
Yeah, I can understand that because that's the mouse that's the most powerful mouse in the world. So you don't want to jump on Disney any kind of way. So, but anyway, we talking about Tampa Super Bowl, Raymond James Stadium. You know, set you up a tent, Go get you one of them tents from Walmart for $69. Put your name on it. Sell some candy apples. I saw somebody on the side of the road the other day selling candy apples.
Candy apples work.
Yeah, and I'm telling you what the candy apple. They were selling candy apples, the old-fashioned candy apple, because you know there's a couple ways you make it with that brown sugar stuff. But the red, hard candy apple, and they had one for $2 and 3 for $5. So of course I would not have waste my money trying to buy one for $2 when I could buy 3 for $5. I'm just saying.
Like you need candy apples.
That just me. Yeah, I can't even eat candy apples.
That's what I'm saying.
It's something about being, black and 60-something years old. You always have high blood pressure. You always got sugar. You always got the sugar, as old folks call it. You always got the sugar, sugar diabetes. And stuff hurt when it didn't originally hurt. Like you go to bed fine and you wake up the next day and stuff hurting, and you ain't did never sleep all night. So anyway, let's talk about this election we just had. Okay, everybody had their own black folks. So the black community as a whole could not team up for anybody. Because again, money talks and folks bought their own Negroes. And I'm saying it like that for a reason. We not politically correct on this show. So folks who haven't heard us before understand that I'm telling you like it is. You could not have went to even the poor guy, the guy who was riding the bus everywhere, had black folks. The guy that was running, I forget his name, Top or something, but he had black folks in his campaign. So this was an interesting election to let you guys know that it was important to everybody. So Jane Castor won. Now I guess David made sure everybody knew that she wasn't related to Betty, and she wasn't related to Kathy. I guess that's part of their strategy.
I don't know if that works so well. And I'll tell you why real quick. Because my kid, in fact, you think I'm bad. My kid he's beyond the pale. There were 2 votes in my house. There were 3 votes in my house. 2 for Marco Rubio in Florida Pirate, and 1 for Ted Cruz. That was my kid. He said that knowing that Jane Castor was not related to Betty or Kathy, said, well, I might vote for her anyway. That's who he is. So that's why he didn't run for everybody. They needed to roll that out first to see how that was going to play. Didn't play well for David in my house.
I'm gonna tell you something else. I'm thinking in an imaginary, mystical future world that this black community can get their act together and elect our candidates long before the city, county, state, whoever, and we only put up the candidate that we already want to win. That means we have to do some work within our own boundaries, have some meetings, and the 5 or 6 candidates who have big egos decide we're going to all work together, and whoever wins going to do certain things, and then we're going to all make this thing work, put the community first. What do you say about that, Chairman?
Well, first of all, good afternoon, everyone. I say there's a lot to that. Being an African American and running an election it's a lot of work. They have to put in more work than anybody, even in your own district, because you have to overcome a lot of obstacles. One, financial. Let's be honest, black folks don't understand giving to campaigns and financing campaigns unless it's attached to a piece of fish or something like that, or a piece of chicken. So
that's right. And
so
bread and surprise.
Yeah. So we got to do better when it comes to helping our candidates, African American candidates in our community, so they can take off the ground running. Another thing is, people, even if you don't have the resources financially, I always say, well, give them 2 hands, 2 feet, and a mouth.
There you go.
And volunteer, and let's go to work and do that. But Eddie, the key this election just passed was everybody was hungry for $1. Everybody wanted $1.
Yeah.
And and I'm not knocking anyone for making $1, but the thing is, whatever happened to our good old volunteers that believed in candidates that believe in their voice, and they said, hey, I want to do that. I mean, there were some.
Closer to the mic.
There were some that really said that. There were some that did it, and then that had some true volunteers and some grassroots people. But then there were some that really struggled on that aspect.
Well, one of the things I read in the comments on Wednesday, after the election on Tuesday, that Jeffrey Rose said was that, you know, his opponent had more money. And, you know, I mean, it may have been true, but a traditional candidate would have never said, I lost because I ain't got no money. Because it's your job, part of being the candidate, to run out there and get some money. You know, and he said, well, I couldn't get my message out to the end. Well, you know, that happens to a bunch of people. I have been a candidate, you know, and I understand how that flow of money happens, and I did it 4 times, even though I was running for a different slot, you know, but all these, you know, that's why people keep saying, oh, why don't you run for this, why don't you run? It takes a lot of work. I don't care what it is you are running for, it takes a lot of work. So if you're running for a job that's going to pay you $39,000 when you win, and you can take that same effort and get paid $170,000, $180,000 if you win, I mean, hey, you know, don't call me no fool, but I'm telling you, I'm running for the one, you know, that's going to pay you the $100,000 if you win, because winning is winning. And no matter what level, you're running for a government, you know, salary paid by the people of whatever community, city, state, county you in, you know, it's work. And getting elected is not the hardest part of it. So, you know, once you get elected, the work starts. And everybody who you didn't know, all those people who became your relatives overnight, relatives you didn't have Tuesday, that Wednesday morning, you know, calling you first thing in the morning, hey, brother, you know, do you remember me? I gave you that cheese sandwich, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you were walking by my house and I gave you some Kool-Aid and gave you some lemonade. Because I'm going to tell you, when I was out there with campaigning, walking, you went to people's house, we had to have somebody called a pull person. Somebody to come pull you out the house. Because sometimes you get stuck in there and you don't want to be rude and you don't want to leave, but you got 30 more houses on this street alone to get to. And them little old lady have you sit down. See, you can't sit down. Once you sit down, they got you. You know, but I mean, this is part of the process.
And you're right, and that is so. That's the fun side of knocking doors, because you get to meet and talk to the community and have the fun. And when you knock on somebody's door, they was like, "Oh, you got a sweat? You want some water? Let me get you this," and they invite you into the house, of course, and then they ready for a conversation. So. So you definitely have to have a pull person to come and tap you out and say, hey, we got someone. So, but that's the fun part of it, you know. But when it comes to, excuse me, working an election, we all just have to, excuse me, work a little harder.
But I think eventually, I think that a lot of our problem in our community is that we don't. I think that as a black electorate, we don't really get how this process works internally, and we don't really get our understand our part in it. I think that a lot of people believe that when you are running as a candidate, that you should have, that these people already have money. They don't need my money. They take the same attitude that they take in church.
Yeah,
you know,
that's the kind of Cadillac.
They got money. They got that Cadillac 14 years old.
Yeah.
They got to wash it every day, but they got money. They don't need my money.
Right.
And they don't really understand the process and the part that they can play in it, because everybody is busy just trying to survive. You know, everybody trying to keep the lights on and live indoors, and I get that. But in order to be effective in the political process, we've got to, like you said, if we can't donate money, we got to donate 2 hands, 2 feet, and a mouth. You know, we have to donate what we have. If you are interested, otherwise. You have to also understand that somebody else will make that decision for you. If you can't be a part of that decision making, somebody else will. Somebody else wants to. Somebody else believes that they need to. So that's part of the process. And sometimes you lose. And I don't necessarily think that we have to think in lockstep in the black community. I think that's been part of our problem.
Yeah.
That lack of diversity of thought and idea, that somehow that we're all growing one brain, is what's been detrimental to our community for a long, long time.
And that is true. And you know, Willie, you bring up a good point. It's the thing that education. People just figure, hey, I want to run. They just, sometimes I feel like people wake up in the middle of the night and say, I want to run for this seat.
That's
They
what
run
do.
for the seat.
That's what they
And
do.
they don't know the ins and out
Don't have a
of
clue.
politics.
Don't have a
They
clue.
don't know the ins and out of working a campaign or how to even start a campaign. So, and you know, and then you got some of these people out here who've knocked a couple of doors and now all of a sudden they campaign consultants. You know, so you got
Yes, yes.
you know,
Consultant class. Good God.
yeah, so you gotta educate yourself on this whole process. And, you know, you gotta know where your base is gonna come from. You gotta develop a base and how you're going to handle things and how you're gonna do things. So, yeah, Willie, that is an excellent point. Know the policy, know the procedures, know what's in it for you and how to go about doing it before you do it. And that's for every candidate, whether they won or whether they lost, you know, and it's all about working hard for this community.
And I don't mean to throw you under the bus or put you under the microscope, but everybody got an opinion of Jane Castor. And I heard somebody this morning talking about her partner being in the process, you know, so Jane Castor can speak for Jane Castor, but Jane Castor can't speak for her partner and people doing business with her partner and that whole thing. So it's, you know, we got what we got at this point, but is it business the same as usual or do we have something different?
Well, you know, Eddie, one thing is, I hope it's not business the same as usual. You know, I'm not afraid to say that we have made some choices in the past as African American. Let's just say Yvette Lewis. Let me just say that we've supported some candidates and then those candidates came out to be a disappointment.
Right, yeah.
And we didn't get anything. It didn't get anywhere. So we live and learn. Okay. Each time you learn and you grow from that process. So the one thing is here, what I can say, as my leadership at the NAACP, we will be holding everyone accountable. White, black, or indifferent. Republican, Democrat, Independent, Green, or whoever. So we will, the key this year will be accountability when it comes to everything that these elected officials has done. Because my whole thing is, I am so sick and tired of being sick and tired of candidates coming to our community.
Pimping.
Okay, go ahead and say pimping and prostituting our community for the highest dollar.
Yeah.
Asking us for our votes. We give it to them, and then we get nothing in return. Now, as the leader of an organization, the oldest civil rights organization there is, it is up to me and up to our membership to hold these people accountable. So if we don't do anything else, and I'm not asking for a whole kumbaya from all these leaders in this community, because if it will be done, it'll be done. But in the meantime, I'm going to do what I have to do, and we're going to hold them accountable on what they're supposed to be doing. East Tampa, West Tampa was a great part of every political forum, every debate, everything, every candidate. Every candidate had it coming out of their mouths everywhere I went. So guess what? We're here. We're not going anywhere. And we're going to hold them accountable. We're going to make sure that they do what they're supposed to do. And if not, we're going to call them out. The NAACP, we didn't have a dog in the fight. And we did not have a dog in the fight for the simple reason because there wasn't anybody worth fighting for that we saw. Each candidate had, each candidate had its own flaws. Each candidate had their strengths. But we didn't see one strong enough, and the members could not come together to see one strong enough to fight for it. So, but we will be holding the elected officials accountable. If you lost, if you won, you're supposed to represent all of the people that's in your district or in the city of Tampa, no matter what. If someone did not vote for you, if someone didn't support you, you still have to represent that person. And if you don't, we're coming for you with guns a-blazing.
Well, Jan Castor, one of the first things she said is she after someone mentioned to her that she lost all the primary black communities. And she said while she was campaigning, this I heard myself at one of the forums, you know, she knows that East Tampa hasn't got a fair shot. Mm-hmm. And all the candidates knew that. But see now they realize East Tampa, because they can't say it about West Tampa because somebody's putting billions of dollars into West Tampa. I mean, West Tampa is blowing up. That's because the mayor, the current mayor, Bob Buckhorn, opened the floodgates, open season on property in West Tampa. I mean, it was protected before, but now, you know, the folks that's buying in there, those 4 and 5 and 6 level multiplex, you know, block long apartment complexes, them units aren't going to black folks. They're going to everything but black folks. So come 4 years from now, District 5 probably won't get a black candidate. I'm just saying, right now it's a black district. It may not be a black district, you know, come next time we do this again. This municipal race may be, you know, time to try to get a black person in there because it may be 5 white folks running for it.
And that is true. I have always said that, and it could happen. We're District 5 is not even 50% African American, so there could be someone else that jump in there and run this and sit on that bench, and so we could lose that one seat that we have because that seat is not even promised to us. Only thing, like I said, what I'm asking for the new mayor that's coming in is that she continues to keep an open dialogue, an open mind, and it does not fall under the same regime that we just went through.
Now,
African Americans for the past 8 years have lived in poverty, have been sanctioned economically, the city of Tampa has turned a blind eye to that due to the leadership that we have had. You know, the people that sit on the city council, you know, they continue to vote on things that the community is not don't want or they don't even ask for. We're voters. We elected you to that seat.
That's right.
So why don't we have a voice when we tell you that this is not what we want? You know, they continue to give us what they feel is best for us. Ain't nobody asking for these roundabouts.
Wait, are you saying that a roundabout
wait.
is not economic development?
They're building that with your money too. They ain't building those roundabouts with their money. They trying to give you stuff that they think you want, as opposed to asking you what the hell you want.
Well, their friends are getting the contracts because I don't even know where the bid came up for contracts. So that's my thing. So, you know, we didn't ask for that. You know, look
You got a sheriff's department. You got a police station.
Yeah, illegally. So I mean, you know, look at the fact that with Domain Homes, you know, it was awful. You know, they got all of these lots and they took them away from the people, and you didn't even offer them to the people first. You didn't even give them to that. So the city of Tampa,
picking and choosing winners.
You picking and choosing on what you want to do.
Right.
And how you do it. So I am hoping and I am praying that the city of Tampa, the mayor elect, and whoever she pick on her team does not continue the same thing, because if it does, you know, their elections have consequences. That's all.
And they do, and that's one thing. And I actually heard something say, there's no women on city council, Tampa City Council, anymore, and there's nothing anybody can do about that till next election. First of all, you know, like they tell black folks and Hispanics, you got to run. If nobody run, and there was one that I know, the Republican who ran against Guido. So, but she lost to Guido. So
she had every right to lose. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Okay, she had every right.
That's what I'm straight saying. Yeah. So you can't look at an election and look at results and do a generalization. There's no women. Well, again, you got to have good women to run and then win and all that kind of stuff. But to go back in hindsight, well, somebody should have won because they were a woman. is saying, Walter should have won, but shit, he didn't, and Walter did all the right things, but Walter was running against somebody who's been on city council, had name recognition, and had money. I mean, he had all the things you need as a politician, and he has done it before, and running in a citywide race, that's different than running in just a little district. A little district is a little part of town. When you're running all over, you got to have all those intangibles
But you know what?
to be the guy, a girl.
It's like I say, elections have consequences. People have really got to go out to vote, and we have the power over in East Tampa. We could have persuaded any election or changed any election for the best.
Yeah.
What is that? Newmont Zion polling site. I think they hold 2,500 voters. Cathedral of Faith, they have like 1,500 voters. Osiris Green. I mean, we could have changed anything, but yet, really, in District 5, only 8,000, 9,000 people that showed up to vote. It's a shame. It's sad. But let's go back to this male or the female. It doesn't make a difference. I don't care if we elected a dog or a cat. If we elected you, you are
cat.
Cat.
I don't like cats.
So
the dog. We'll go to dog.
You have to represent the people, and if you
Right.
choose not to, then just like you got in there, then we just have to take care of that. and
Take
get
you out next round.
And I was being a little silly, but I think that what's really missing is and has been missing for a long time is accountability.
That's
And I'm from the page. I don't care what you look like. I don't care where you live. The fact is that I need you, no matter what I task you to do, I need you to do that job. I don't care if it's fixing the AC in my house or my car, or if you're an elected official. If you said you were going to do something, then I need you to do that. And if you, for some reason, aren't up to the task, for whatever reason, then I'm still gonna hold you accountable. You gotta be up to the task. The job was hard when you took it. Don't tell me that, you know what?
It's harder than I thought.
Well,
That's what they always say.
Yeah,
harder than I thought it was.
Yeah, because the other side gets paid to play defense too.
Right.
Gets paid to play defense. So the deal is that if you're not up to the task, then let me know, and then we'll pick somebody else. You've got to be accountable to the people that you represent, and you've got to be accountable for the things that you say that you're going to do. So don't go around promising free lunch for everybody.
Oh yeah.
And that you're going to have pizza every Friday at school if you know dang on well you can't do it.
And that's the other thing too. I really think it was a bunch of folks running who did not know what they could and could not do. And that for me, that was a problem. I mean, you on a campaign, you in a forum, okay, and you're telling people, stuff. I can do this, I can do that. Okay, if you at the state, you got very little to do with the county school boards. It's 67 counties. They all got a school board, and somebody from the state, it's kind of hard for you to call and tell somebody at a county school board what they need to be doing. I'm just saying. Or somebody, you're running for U.S. Congress, and you're going to tell somebody, again, they may respect you, but you can't tell them crap about what they're doing. And a lot of people were saying, okay, I'm running for city council. Well, that's a specific job, and it's very limited what you can and cannot do.
Yeah.
A lot of people just saying stuff.
And anything that's happening in the Hillsborough County School District is not your purveyance.
Right.
You don't really have any say there or any standing there other than a private citizen. You don't have any other say there.
And a whole bunch of people with this yes on transportation. Well, guess what? Somebody put up $4 million and ran a campaign to get that bill passed so that we are now paying 8.5% taxes. And we're supposed to be happy about it, and we're supposed to be smiling about it. That's because you don't understand. You got screwed. You got tooted over, as the old folks used to say, and you got butt driven. So again, as a community, those folks played you like a fiddle. They got the money. They ran the campaign, and now they're reaping the benefits because we don't even know at the end of the day where some of that money is going to go. It's kind of like the Catholic Church. It's got money coming in from everywhere. Now all of a sudden they got all this money coming in, all these revenue streams going in, and they got a committee that's supposed to decide how some of this money is spent. And the folks who wrote the bill wrote how some of it is spent, because that way they make sure they get theirs. And that's what it was. They knew by the way they wrote the bill who was going to get paid at the end of the day. And that's why they did. That's why they put $4 million. You don't put $4 million into a campaign if you don't know you or somebody you like is going to get some good stuff at the end of this process.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that whole thing is so frustrating and ridiculous that Stevie Wonder could see that this was a scam. Stevie Wonder could see that this was a scam coming. And again, all you had to do, Eddie, was go to your mailbox every day.
Yes.
And see all the flyers and all the mailers that came that weren't supporting a candidate, but were supporting a cause. And we have to, again, be a lot smarter. Look at that and go, I wonder who's behind this. And I wonder why. It isn't just because they want you to be able to get to work faster. It's not, that's ridiculous.
Right.
And especially the way that you go to work, anything they're proposing doesn't help you a bit. So we just got to be smarter about that kind of stuff. We have to be more educated about that kind of stuff. And we have to do something that we don't do. We don't ask the next question. We don't say, well, who's behind this? Okay, when you find out that, why? And then, how is this going to help me in my situation? We don't ask the next question. We just sort of get on a team, we wear a t-shirt and a hat, and it's red or blue, and we go for it.
As long as you don't say, making America great
Yeah,
again.
exactly. As long as they red and you say make America great again, that we're good with it.
Yeah.
Because we've been sold this line that, especially in transportation, that we need some sort of regional transportation, blah, 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 blah. But no one asks the question, like, if it's regional,
why does all the money come from Tampa?
and why do, well, that, and how do I have any control if it's regional?
Yeah, yeah.
It's ridiculous. Who do I hold accountable? How do I hold them accountable if we're all just going to, like, pool my money, and then everybody else gets benefit from it? The next question, don't we have other concerns that we can actually address and actually fix?
Well, see, I'm going to tell you something about the way stuff happens sometimes. Back when they were getting ready to build the first Tampa Stadium and the second one, they put a referendum out there and said, we want to build Tampa Stadium, Tampa Stadium version 2.0, how we want to do that. And that's what the money's going to go from. People rejected it.
They did.
Then they say, okay, we want to build, some fire stations and some police stations, and some money goes to some teachers. And along the way, we also want to get some money for the stadium. It passed. They did that not once, but twice. And they figured it out. As long as you put something in there and say, I'm going to do something for the schools, and I'm going to do something for the teachers, I'm going to do some all these. Now, even though they're going to only get like 10% and the other 80, 90% going to go to whatever it was they wanted to actually do the money for. But the people who put the money up, those $4 million, those people who put that money up, the people who giving $500,000 for transportation, guess what? They knew where the money was going once they got it through. And not only were they going to get it for 1 year, or 10 years, or 30 years. You see what I'm saying?
30-year tax.
When we do stuff like that, we just stupid as a population of people, and somebody who understands how the game is played literally played us. As a whole county played us.
Yeah, and I always think that the very first thing that anybody ought to do, that politicians ought to do, is it's like the Hippocratic Oath. They should do no harm. So we send people to these offices who say, well, I want to get some stuff done. And again, ask them that question. Well, what stuff you going to get done? And how's it going to hurt? Is it going to help me or hurt me? Because if it's going to hurt me, I don't want you to do nothing. I'd rather you sit in that seat, look pretty, be on TV, get your check, and go home, and not make my life more difficult.
Right.
And if I've got to pay more for stuff that I need, then you have made my life more difficult. Then you have done me harm.
Yes.
I mean, and there's no other way to say it. And you can, and you know, I taught for 15 years. I know that I've seen teachers bring in their own stuff for their class. I've seen all of that, and I've experienced it, and I've done it myself. But the idea is that even with that going on, you can't just decide to make somebody else's life more difficult.
Right.
And then feel like you are Spartacus.
And think about this too.
So Robin Hood in government, you don't rob me. because you
rob Peter to pay Paul.
Because you're not robbing the rich. You're robbing everybody.
Robbing the poor to pay the poor.
Whomever. You're robbing the poor
to pay the rich.
That is true.
It's insane. And we just, as a community, because I think we're just, unfortunately, we get tied to ideologies, we get tied to parties, and we get tied to individuals sometimes.
I think it's mostly tied to individual.
We do get tied to individuals.
Because, and I've always said this, it's because someone comes to your house and break bread with you, and just because they're your friend.
Now they're your cousin?
Yeah, your cousin. Oh no, he goes to my mama's church, and so therefore he must be the best thing for our community. You know, he's my frat brother, or she's my soror, so therefore this person must be great. So, you know, you have to look at it and evaluate this everything and everybody. I know some people that I like, but there's some people that I would not even support because I know how they are. And you know, we have to be honest when answering that question. You know, Willie, I like you, but you can't be my city council.
I know.
Okay, there you go. Thank you.
I you know what? And I am mad at you because you see, it's still about understanding that, and it's still about the mutual respect about who you are. And this is the game, and I respect the game, and I respect all the players in the game. I understand that.
Well, let me tell you something that's real
Which is why I didn't get mad when I didn't qualify for county commission and leave the district. I didn't get mad and take all my toys and run to the county.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something that happened.
I like where I live.
Jeff Vinnick,
In the hood, straight up.
billionaire, kind of say, okay, y'all give me. I know we got a phone call. Let me finish this. I got a school, med school. I want to give some money to and some property. So started out with 10 acres, then it went to 20 acres, 30 acres. Now I think that whole project now is like 50-something acres. You know, and $3-4 billion. So it went from 1 to 4 to 6. All right, caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio this afternoon. What say you?
What say you? How you doing, Eddie Adams? It's Joe Robinson calling, man. You know I'm gonna call in on your show.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And say a few words since Yvette Lewis, my NAACP president now. But let me just say straight up, okay? I mean, I'm through talking about the elections and who won it and who didn't win it. That's all over.
Yes, it is.
So now what I'm talking about is what the hell are we going to do now that we got these people in and we got these policies and we got these businesses out here that need work and we got all this damn stuff. We got over, and my estimate is $12 billion recently around here to be spent over the next 10 to 15 years. And I want to know, because I'm out here pushing it, starting May 1st, after every damn body in office, we put the NWC create my economic development area, and we finna walk the dog with everybody around here. So I just want to let everybody know, the election over, it's time to get out here and get some work, get some contracts, get some jobs, get some students trained, and cut all this nonsense out, because I'm telling you, if we don't do it now, I ain't got time when I get 80 years old, okay? That's all I can tell you. So, and I want to thank my president for being in there, and the NAACP for standing up, and for Eddie Adams, y'all keeping it real, man, because y'all keep it balanced, as they say, on Fox, fair, and balanced. And that's all I want to say. Have a nice day.
Well, thank you, Joe. Thank you for calling. Thank you for being the person that you are and the community servant. We got another caller. Caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio. What say you this fine Saturday afternoon?
Yes, Eddie, I wanted to, this is Brother Jarvis, I wanted to speak to President Lewis. I wanted to say to her, she called a show earlier this morning, the Man Talk show on this radio station, and I thought it was appropriate now for me to call her to ask us the question. Everybody's talking about, well, the election over, this and that about the election. Everybody know one no joke. I was supporting David Strass. He won every black precinct. That's all he won.
Yeah.
And so that was a referendum that what they hired me to come do. I delivered it. I delivered. My concern with President Lewis has always supported her, and I sat on the executive committee of the NAACP. 3 days before the primary, she goes in the Tampa Bay Times with a couple more of the so-called black leaders and saying that David Strass trying to buy out the black community. She's not going to be successful doing that. How can you think that you can represent an organization like the NAACP and say that and think that's all right? How can you do that? And when knowing you had your own personal pick that you were going to then come out public and support, but everybody knew you had your own personal pick. If you're in an organization like that, you're supposed to have clean hands in this. And so this is a problem for me. Also, I want to say to the president of the NAACP, that was I came with a situation that I wanted help on that never got no response from her about help from the NAACP. So don't try to put this image up like you all kumbaya and everything is all right with you and you for the community, you for the community. You got some concerns that you need to address. Okay?
Okay, let's just
All right.
stick
Well,
with the question.
thank you, Jarvis, and thank you for calling. And Yvette's gonna give us some comments.
Well, thank you, Jarvis, for those comments, and I appreciate that. One of the things is that I have always been open about how I felt about both candidates, and and I would tell people there was a time that people would say you had to pick the lesser of the two evil, and people would know this. And I said this: we didn't have to pick the lesser of the two evil; we had to pick our poison in both candidates. So that's where that's coming from. It was no secret that David Strass, he did purchase a lot of people and to work on his campaign, but that was fine. But I would say the same thing with Jane. She didn't come with no substance as well, too, and what she was planning on doing for the campaign. So that's why, one, the NAACP stayed out of it. And what we decided to do was to hold people accountable. Now, you're referring to the case that you filed with the NAACP. Okay, that case is still there, and we're working on that case. And you're more than welcome to come and have a conversation with me about it. So, but I called you a couple of times to give you an update on it, on where we was, but you never did answer the call. So I just want to let you know the ownership is not with us, dear. The ownership is with you, Brother Jarvis, because I have called you several times to give you an update on that case and where we're at with that case. So let me tell you this. We work very hard at the NAACP. This is a volunteer organization. Those who want to criticize, those who are welcome to come in the trenches and work with us. Our phones are ringing constantly, daily, with people who have civil rights issues in this city. We have well over 1,300 members. We are the largest organization in the state of Florida. So instead of criticizing us and try to take us down in front of people, let's just all see how we can do this together, because you are an active member. Let's see this and let's do this. I welcome everything, and I welcome everybody's input and everybody's guidance and structure. So we have committee chairs. Let's go to work. So you're more than welcome to reach out to me and contact me regarding your case, and we can take it from there, and I can give you an update on it. Thank you.
All right, and we only got a little bit of time left in the show, and I'm gonna try to squeeze in on this day in history. So,
Yvette, you don't have anything else to say?
On this day, April
before that.
April 27th,
Just say anything.
in 1946, the SS African Star was placed in service. It was the first commercial ship to be equipped with radar. On this day, in April 27th, in 1965, Pampers was patented by R.C. Duncan. Now, I know it's a whole bunch of folks, because I remember baby diapers and washing and, having a tub out in the back, so that they didn't smell, because they had to stay somewhere until you got to them. Okay. On this date.
We had diaper services in New Jersey.
I don't know many black folks that had diaper services.
I was a child of diaper service.
Okay, well,
Which might explain a whole bunch.
yeah, exactly. Because anybody that had kids had a diaper service, changing and cleaning and washing.
Those cloth diapers ain't no joke.
You know, that's right. Okay, on this date, 1982, the trial of John W. Hinckley Jr. began in Washington. Hinckley was later acquitted by reason of insanity for shooting U.S. President Ronald Reagan and 3 others. And on this day, in 2006, in New York, construction began on the 1,776-foot One World Trade Center on the site of the former World Trade Center. I know you couldn't get by your weekend without that information. And I bring it to you just for that reason.
Oh my.
And because Willie loves it so much.
It's one of my favorite parts of the week.
So much. So Tampa Bay, we love you, and like Joe said, we bring you a different look at what everybody's talking about. And again, I want to make sure that you all know and realize, you know, that I do have a presidential candidate. I heard somebody from the previous show saying he's gonna announce who his candidate is. I kind of announced mine, you know, like a year or so ago, but Donald John Trump for U.S. president. So we made the announcement. It's now official. Now that now that the mayor's race and the local candidates have been elected and decided, we want you guys to know and understand that it's different now. I remember when people said, especially Republicans, black folks don't vote.
Except they do.
And,
Except they always have.
And it took Obama's election for them to wake up and realize that if black folks had somebody to vote for, or some decision or some issue, they'd go vote. So what happened this election was, you as a community pretty much decided, that you didn't have anybody to vote for. I mean, they voted, like Jarvis said, they voted for David Straz, but David Straz never said what he was going to do and how he was going to do it, as a campaign. People wanted a plan. Sometimes they want a plan. They don't understand it when they get one. Jan didn't have a plan, but you need something to go with some of that stuff. You need a personality. David Straz, did not have a personality that enlightened and entertained and all in the same light. And sometimes you're looking for somebody who will entertain you as opposed to somebody who's going to make your life or your city or your community better.
Some people need that. I just need somebody who's going to tell me the truth. Be honest.
Yeah.
Just be straight with me.
Yeah.
I'm grown.
I
can
agree.
take it. I can take it.
I can take it. Thank you.
So no, and I think that when we talk about the presidential election, there are now 20 Democrat people vying for, and they beat the Republicans. The Republicans had like 17 last time. They got 20.
Uncle
They-
Joe. Uncle Joe.
Well, all of them. There's,
Uncle Creepy
there
Joe.
is. There's this woman, Marilyn Williamson, I think, who's is a psychic or something. She's in a race. It ought to be if you're looking for entertainment, that ought to be entertaining. 20 people. You remember how stupid it was when the Republicans had a debate where they had like a children's table.
Yeah,
They had like 2 debates.
and the big table and the little table.
Yeah, I mean, so it's
Thanksgiving dinner.
It's gonna be like 3 or 4 tiers of debate. It ought to be a very much entertaining.
You gotta have to work your way up
Yeah.
to get to the big table.
20 people.
It doesn't matter, somebody's got to win and somebody's going to lose. So,
race.
but Eddie, I just want to let you know, I welcome your suggestion and your candidate who you're supporting, and you're still my friend.
Okay.
I don't
thank
care
you.
how much money he pay you. No, I'm just messing with you. But I mean,
I take the money. I take all of
and
it.
you're still
But
my
we
friend,
ain't
and
got-
that's
we ain't got
one
no check.
thing I like about you, Eddie. And I want to say thank you because no matter what, we may be on opposite side on the fence on some things, but we still continue to remain vigilant in friendship. You pick up the phone every time I call, and I pick up the phone every time you call. You bounce stuff off me. and I bounce stuff off you. So thank you.
We
and
bounce,
I
we
appreciate
bounce the right stuff.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted.
So,
we ain't just bouncing.
Yeah, that's
We
what you're
just-
saying. Yeah, but thank you so much for being someone that I can count on and trust. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Yvette. Because the thing about this community, at some point in time, the people who consider themselves to be winners and losers and leaders and all that kind of stuff will get together and we'll actually do the right thing for the community. I just think it's out there, just a matter of timing. So, without further ado, I think we getting the choke sign.
We are at the shank of the hour.
Cut off sign or something. So until next week when we do this all again, and he's about to kill himself in there making motions like we need to get off the radio. So till we see you again next week, have a good one. We love you, Tampa Bay. Bye bye.
Peace.
Serving Tampa Bay since 1954, the Heritage Station, WTMP.